Alright guys, so we've just gone back into local lockdown, so we're not at Hobby League anymore, but for the past few weeks I've been trying out Melffy's, so I thought I'd just go through the deck profile and how I've been playing it, so we'll just get into the deck profile now. Okay, so to start off with, we'll be playing 3 Melffy Puppy. This is mandatory, this is the best main deck Melffy, so this one, if you don't know what Melffy do, each of the main deck monsters have an effect that when your opponent normal special summons or when they declare attack on this card, they can return themselves to hand to get an effect. So Puppy is the best one. This is the one that will special summon a beast from deck. So we'll go through some of the targets, but that's your best one. Next up is Catty. This one, when it returns to hand, you can search for a beast from deck to hand. So each of the main deck ones, they also special summon themselves during your end phase as well. So it's a really easy way to flood the board with them. Again, you don't have to just keep normal summoning. Next up, we've got the one of main deck Melffys. So we've got one Pony. So this one, when it returns to hand, you can add a beast from grave to hand. So this one and Fenny are both very situational. This one can special summon one from hand. I'll only really bring out these if I've got a specific need. So I'll go through some of the other targets I'm playing, but things like the Calantosa, if it's in hand I can use Fenny, or the Hoppier with Pony, I can add it back to hand. So now into some of your targets. So we've got 2 Valeraphon, Mythical Beast of the Forest, and 2 Calantosa, Mythical Beast of the Forest. So this one, you can discard a card and then special summon a level 2 beast, level 2 or lower beast from grave. And this one, when it's special summoned by the effect of a beast monster, you can destroy a card in the field. So this is what you're going to special summon off your Puppy, typically, and Valeraphon's just there to help get into your synchro and Xyz plays. It's also a tuner, which is very relevant. Next up is the best normal summon in the deck, is Rescue Cat. So this plays very similar to like Raccoons. This will just help you get pretty much any monster from your deck. So this is really great to just get all your plays started to go into Xyz and synchro plays.
I remember that it's the thing where you were trying to find so many ways to actually reduce your life points, so you could use the emerging. Is it rescue?
Yeah, emergency rescue. Yeah, because that can actually so it searches for monsters with the same stat line as all the rescue monsters, which is 300, 100, and your Puppy is actually the same stat line. So it helps you get like to 2 of the best cards in your deck.
Right, guys. So if you have any ways to consistently drop his life points,
yeah. So ways that we'd actually considered was using things like Odd-Eyed Revolution Dragon, which you pay 500, and actually the tune table of contents to get to your Tomb World because you pay 1,000 to activate it.
Yeah, you gotta try.
Try. So there was no good things, but yeah, it's just really good if you can get it off. Second best normal summon is your Nimble Beaver. So we keep recycling these back into deck, but also special summons from grave. So it's just again a really easy way to get into your Xyz plays. Next off is the one-of beasts. So we've got Hoppier Squadron, which this is what you're going to search off your Catty. So if you go Catty Puppy, Puppy will special summon the Calantosa. Catty searches this. This can special summon itself from the hand during your opponent's main phase and immediately synchro summon. So using those 2, you can make your Herald of the Arclight during your opponent's turn, and you can just keep recycling it. It's really good. Mind Mole, so when it's used as synchro material, you can draw 1. It's a level 3 beast, so you can use this to go into your Nat Beast or your Nishuria Barkion if you want. So that in some situations you can make your Herald of the Arclight, but that's only if you were to use like your Key Mouse. So this is a level 1 beast tuner. This also can't be destroyed by battle once per turn, and this when it's destroyed it can add something. So both useful, but they're really there for the draw and the levels. The last one we play is the X-Saber Airbellum. Is a level 3 beast tuner. It can also make your opponent discard a card, but you're really playing it there for the level 3. So off of the Rescue Cat you can make your
Oh no, I'm just remembering when you actually did it when we were playing Appliances and actually got to attack me with
Airbellum.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's so sad.
Jerry was shaking his hand. I thought he was saying I was doing something wrong.
No, I'm just salty. It's always a fun.
Yeah. So a level 3 tuner, so that plus your Mind Mole can make your Barkion. Or the Bryonac, which I'm playing. Now on to spells. So we play 1 Melffy Tag. It's a reborn for the deck. It's so-so. I'm only playing as a 1-up. It's quick effect. if someone gets rid of your cat or puppy, it can bring them back, but otherwise it feels weird saying a reborn is mediocre, but it is really. Next up, I play 2 hide and seek. This is like one of your best cards in the deck. It's shuffle in 3, draw 1, and first time each beast monster you control will be destroyed by a card effect. It's not. So this helps protect your Nat Beast, it helps recur, it helps draw. This is fantastic. It shuffles in your Hoppier Squadrons and your Mind Mold, so you can keep doing them, keep getting draws. The deck actually has quite a lot of draw power, surprisingly. But the reason I play 2 is if you mill 1 off the Nat Beast, it just hurts so much. You're playing a control deck, you're slowing the game down, you really need that recursion. Next up, we have just the best card to start. Obedience Skill just special summons 3 level 2 or lower beasts, but you can't special summon beasts except for beasts for this turn. So the reason we play the key mouse really is because you can't access a level 3 with this. So if you just have this, you can get the key mouse and any of your level 2 non-tuners to make your Nat Beasts. You can make any of your Xyz, you can make any of your synchros. It's a really good starter. That plus Rescue Cat is like dream opening. It's just 5 monsters on the board. I just dropped my card. Yeah, so it's just 5 cards on the field for free. Other one-offs, we've got 1 Call by the Grave because hand traps suck. Airdrop Sunrise because it's a reborn for a beast. So this can get back things like your Nat Beast and just monster reborn itself. So the reason these are better than the tag is just because it can go for nigh on anything you've got, as opposed to there's some backup Melffy, which you're playing enough Melffys and recurring them enough that you don't really need to see extra access, whereas things like bringing that beast back can be really impactful. And then 1 Melffy Playhouse. So this detaches a number from a beast Xyz you control and then can bounce that number, and then beast you control gain, beast Xyz much you control gain 500 attack and defense for each card attached till the end of the turn. This you're really going to load up Mommy, and then just bounce like your entire your opponent's entire board. I got this off for 5 once, and it allowed me to then go for the OTK. Usually you're going to be going for like 1 or 2 with it at most. Next up is just filling up the rest of the deck with hand traps. So I've just gone for 2 ofs. Do whatever you want really with hand traps. The only one I'd say is necessary is the Effect Veiler. The deck doesn't OTK itself easily. None of the engines you're playing really help the OTK, but we play the Hulk Fibrax Selene Access just to OTK if you manage to clear a board. So that's it for the main deck. It's exactly 40. I've tried out quite a few other engines. I've tried playing more of the nimble stuff. I've tried, like I said, trying to do the emergency rescue, and this is just sort of the most consistent way I've got the deck to be. Onto the X deck, we've got Melffy Mommy. So this one, it's just you load it with materials and it gets more effects based on the materials. So you've got 2 materials as it can't be destroyed by battle, 4 take no battle damage involving this card, and 5 when attacks declared involving this card and attack position monster, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack position monster's attack. And also just quick effect, you can attach 1 from your hand or field to it from one of your own beasts. So it's there for the grind. Your opponent is sort of forced to get rid of this, and if you can load it up and then use Playhouse on it, brilliant. But otherwise it's just there to sort of stall out until you can get enough resources to OTK. Then this is the most common thing you'll be making is Melffy of the Forest. It's once per turn, detach, search for a Melffy. It's just, it gets you anything.
Melffy card, right? Or Melffy
Melffy card. So usually the first one I'll use to get the cat or the puppy, whichever one I'm missing, because those are your 2 most important ones to have, to keep getting them back on board, keep making the heralds, keep making keep special something that Calantosa to interrupt your opponent. And the second one I'll try and get my hide and seek just so that I can set up that recurrence, and it's also protected. So when a Melffy you control returns to the hand, you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls. It can't attack and it's negated while it's on the field as well. So as soon as you start getting constant guys out, your opponent it starts really oppressing them. Next up are the 2 slots that I'm happy to give up. These are in there because This gives your guys a buff. It gets stuff off the field that you don't really need, and it can get something back if it's destroyed. This is just to deal with problem cards. I've not really found a use for the Sky Cavalry. Usually I can get to a playhouse or something as well, or just beat over it, or access code or something. I've never really needed to use this. This I go into just to sort of clear some stuff off my board to make way for new stuff, but you're doing it in a situation where you're already doing well. So if there was anything else to add, they would probably be the two things I'd cut, but they're good utility. Speaking of utility, we've got nightmares. The nightmares, you can make them pretty easily. The only thing you can't make them is if you've used Obedience School. Next up is the OTK package. So this is, if you don't know, you use anything to make Hulk. Hulk brings out the Veiler. You use those two, Hulk and the Veiler, to go into this. This gets you tokens, remove the tokens, special on the Veiler from grave, and then those two make the access code. You've automatically got two things to banish for access code effect. You might also have like the Radiant or any of your nightmares. So it's just really good for clearing boards and digging in for a lot of damage, because your access will be on 5/3. Next up, the synchros. So 2 Herald of the Arclight, you are going to make more than one in a game, because you can just keep recurring that Hoppier Squadron in the Kalantosa. So I definitely would play 2. If I've considered playing the Avarice just to put these back, but with Hide and Seek it's just not necessary, because the only real things you're putting back are like some of your light monsters, none of your main decks.
Yeah,
Unless you want to put back hand traps.
That makes sense. I mean, you do still have like a Monster Reborn if you haven't used it already and things like that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's good, but
it's why I'd rather have just the access to the second one rather than trying to find a way to put it back.
Yeah.
Because the Avarice is not. I've tried it. It's not necessary in the deck, because you've got that Hide and Seek. Next up, we've got the main floodgates you're going for. So you're usually going for the Nat Beast, because that shuts down Nigh on every deck, and then the Barkion's matchup specific. This will be for things like your Eldritch, or if you're playing against Tamani with his 10 dangles, you just get out both and then he does nothing.
It's fine. It's fine. You see, you said you wanted to cut 2 spaces anyway. So what you're gonna do? You're just gonna, when you eventually you'll play against, Dogmatic Invoke, send both, make Verte Anaconda, send the Miracle Synchro Fusion, make it Mysterio Exterio. It's gonna be great.
Don't joke. I've tried to think how to make Exterio in this deck.
I mean, it is possible. If you could get the boys out, it's possible. But like,
yeah, I've been trying to make Exterio just because I could, but really the extra deck, I've started refining it, and I could cut the Radiant and the Centauria, so I may try it. I'll go for that next, and then just last slot is Bryanak. Because you're constantly bouncing your guys to your hand's refilling all the time, because you've got things like the Hide and Seek and the Mind Mole. Mind Mole is so abusable. Like, you can just do that multiple times during the game, so you end up with quite a big hand, so you can just completely clear a board with Bryanak. So that's the deck. That's the deck I've been working with. Please let me know below if there's any ideas that you have for the deck, how you've been playing it. I'm constantly looking for spice to put into it.
because like we have probably some. I mean, there's the new Tri Brigade stuff, which should help support Beasts. I know Warriors and stuff, so that could be interesting. Our friend Spill you played Spills like against Spill. What was it? His Unicorn control, which is like
those were dark days. So if you don't know, Fabled Unicorn it negates the effects of your monsters while you have the same number of cards in hand. So they're all beasts as well. So you can. Are they all beasts or are they just mostly beasts?
I think
the synchros.
They're like they have a couple beasts. Like,
so I've thought about playing Unicorn in this because you're constantly bouncing back to hand. You can modulate your hand during your opponent's turn quite well. So I've thought about trying to play Unicorn control just to get back at spell.
I mean, it does have options. Like if you can modulate your hand, it's pretty cool. I mean, there's also going to be new Fabled support, and quite a few of that's actually Beast as well. So that could be something coming out. But yeah, he took it up as a pet project, and now he's found it. He's actually enjoying it.
I really like the deck, and I know a lot of people have sort of taken an interest because it's quite cutesy. But just being able to interrupt your opponent like multiple times during their turn, Tamani made the mistake of attacking into the Melffys one at a time, rather than just going for like the Xyz first. He's still in the habit of like take out the little guys because the big guy had already used his Xyz materials. So I was just, alright, I'll bounce it, use the effects, bounce it, use the effect. So yeah, Puppy and Catty are just the best ones. I'm hoping to get more support in the future. I don't really know what they need at the moment because it's already a pretty solid deck, if I'm honest. Maybe a synchro of their own would be good, and something that makes tag worthwhile, because the Xyz I've found, I just don't really care about bringing them back with no material out, because Mommy I can keep setting that back up with material, but Mommy sort of, I'm already in a state where I'm winning and I'm just grinding this out for the sake of it. So yeah, let me know what you think they could also be doing with in the future, because it is, I mean, we've had one wave of support for it, so should be hopefully getting some more support for it. Alright, thanks. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that usual stuff, and we'll catch you next time.
Shh, not a zombie channel.